2,000 years ago, around the birth of Jesus, a bloody revolt erupted in the Roman province of Judea. Jewish subjects grabbed for freedom. Some rebels were hailed as warrior kings or messiahs, promising a new age of justice. When Rome regained control, thousands were crucified. Most were forgotten, but their hopes would not die.
For hundreds of years, the Jewish people had yearned for a just world. For a world here below, not heaven, but an earth which was just and righteous, run by God, as if God sat on Caesar's throne. It wasn't happening, it was getting worse. So they're building up an apocalyptic hope that God will overcome someday. Imagine that as the chant of apocalypse. God will overcome someday.
That was the chant that Jesus would die to 30 years later. And that was the dream that would keep his memory alive. For unlike those before him, Jesus did not fade away, thanks to a small band of Jews who held fast to their conviction that Jesus was the true Messiah, that he would finally usher in God's kingdom on earth. Rome had conquered the region almost a century before, and while it often relied on compliant local rulers to maintain order, Roman troops were always poised to step in, particularly during holidays when Jewish pilgrims flooded the city. The first signs of trouble brought violent reprisals. Peter and the others had just received a brutal lesson. Jesus' fate loomed over them all.
Crucifixion was a standard Roman practice. 2,000 over here, another 500 over there. And Rome was not terribly discriminatory about whom it crucified. If you were a rebel, if you were a thief, if you were perceived to be a danger to the state, Rome felt no qualms about killing you. Indeed, Rome looked at crucifixion as a form of advertising. Don't do what the person on the cross did, or you may find yourself in similar circumstances. The amazing thing to me about the stories of the crucifixion is that the women stayed, because we know from Roman sources that women too could have been crucified.
And the women were told by an angel to look for Jesus back in Galilee, back in the countryside where Peter was born, where he had first encountered Jesus just a few years before. This is the rural area that had fostered the living prophet. And this is the world, many scholars believe, that now nurtured his teachings and down-to-earth sayings.
The kingdom of God is like a mustard seed, the smallest of all seeds. But when it falls on tilled ground, it produces a great plant and becomes a shelter for birds in the sky.
It seems a unique Jesus movement took root and flowered in Galilee almost immediately after the crucifixion.
Carry no purse, no bag, no sandals. When you enter a house, eat what is set before you. Heal those who are sick and say to them, "The kingdom of God has come upon you."